OTAN, Outreach and Technical Assistance Network.
All right, hi everybody. We're Grossmont Adult Ed or Grossmont Adult School, and we wanted to welcome you to our final report. We'll introduce our team.
My name is Jennifer Owens, and I am the director of the EL program.
And I'm Barbara Van Dyken. I'm a follower of the EL program. I'm a teacher.
I'm Jennifer Hanson, and I am a distance learning teacher with our program.
And I'm Nikki Ross, and I'm our program specialist. We wanted to start off today with just some big thank yous to everyone at OTAN. We want to thank Destiny for just the way to guide us and organize us with Ideal 101 and 102. Dr. Porter for all of the leadership training. We learned so much about each other and how we could work together. And Netta for support, coordination, professional growth, all of the things that you helped us with. Also to our wonderful DLAC coach, Cindy Wislowski, and to our adult ed director, Kim Bellart, who really brought this program to us, let us know about it, gave us the opportunity, and allowed us to be part of this project. And really, as a team, we're dedicated to establishing a culture of digital literacy in our EL program, and that we hope will serve as a model across our programs.
A little bit about us. We are located in San Diego County, East San Diego County, about 20 miles east. We serve approximately 8,300 students. Those are our CAPE students, mostly in EL, academic, CTE, and our re-entry program. We run all of the academic GED prep in our correctional facilities in San Diego County, along with CTE training. Our EL program serves close to 3,000 students. We have 4 levels in our EL program, basic through English 4. We also have our English 5 and 6 is combined with our ABE program in a block of classes we call foundations. They're pathway based. And a large IET program supporting more than 10 CTE classes. As far as our student makeup, we have 37 languages in our EL program from 80 countries and a high refugee population.
Okay, let me make sure. For Ideal 101 and 102 with Destiny, we want to give her major props. I know I learned so much, and also it put me in a position as a DL teacher to be an asynchronous learner with Destiny, which was really cool being on the other side of that, especially before launching DL being on Canvas with Ventures. So that was really cool to experience that before teaching it to our students. Also, we gained insight from colleagues, all of you guys, Folsom County, Cordova, we visited them, that was amazing. Torrance with North Star, and they're launching that. We learned a lot from that. Yeah, so all of you guys, thank you so much. We launched our professional learning plan, building our digital literacy foundation, and you guys helped with all of that, so thank you.
All right, so adjusting our plan, nothing ever goes exactly as you plan. You have to make adjustments along the way, and boy, did we learn that. After, many adjustments in year one, we came in with all kinds of, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're just gonna, we're gonna do everything. And by year 2, we quickly realized that, no, we gotta come up with a plan. And that we need to, we need to pare it down to like 3. And the 3 that we decided to pare down and focus on were professional development and support for teachers to boost digital literacy, identification and integration of digital literacy objectives, or DLOs, and digital literacy and Canvas utilization guidelines for EL programs. So we're pleased to share with you that we've made significant progress on these goals in year 2. And thanks to the models that were set here at DLAC, we were really able to embrace them and, partner with other schools to kind of not steal your ideas, but to share your best practices. So, okay.
So our first goal really sets the stage for us to accomplish the other 2. And so it's a focus on professional development and continuing support for teachers to increase their own digital literacy. Oh, sorry. So we here at DLAC saw Torrance present on their North Star plan. And we didn't have exactly the same setup as them because several of our, especially CTE classes, were already using Canvas. So we were kind of like cart before the horse, but we really liked their organization of their plan. So we met with them and were able to learn from their model. And then we were able to offer a small North Star breakout session during a professional learning day in October 2023 to kind of test the waters with about 10 teachers from CTE, ESL, and also our academic programs. And we really, that went well. And so it seemed like all of those teachers in different programs were interested. So that set the stage for a larger teacher, admin, and staff training session that we offered at the end of April, really leaning on what we learned from Torrance. And we had 50 participants with 30 completing at least one North Star assessment. And some of them completed 3. And it was in a closing session where we had offered breakouts and then we all came together and did this. It was really exciting. I mean, our teachers were enthusiastic. Everybody was engaged. We got a lot of great feedback. So it was really interesting, and that's become the model for the first of 3 professional learning days that we'll offer. So we have 2 more that we're planning to offer in June and in August to try and get through these first 4 modules so that we can then take it into the classroom. Like I said, it was exciting. And it felt like a fresh start. We have some new work coming up with our consortium, and we also, I think all of us have seen that we have now a technology-based SIP goal as part of our SIP goals. So we were able to kind of build that in, and I thought about that yesterday when we talked about institutionalizing, so making this, part of something that's required for us. And then it also became that day and these days coming up will be evidence for us of collaborative efforts as we work towards meeting our WASC recommendations.
Okay, goal 2. A key result from our participation in the Digital Leadership Academy was the Digital Literacy Objectives, the DLOs. And these, guide our digital skills for our students as well as our teachers. For what the teachers need to be teaching at each level of ESL, a digital literacy skill that needs to be taught at each step of the way. The DLOs follow North Star standards, and they match different English learning levels and align with the CASA scores. This ensures that they're relevant across all of the programs, and like Foundations, VESSL, VABE, and IET, addressing the various digital skills of our teachers and students. And updating course outlines can be very challenging. But we've shared these DLOs with our professional learning groups, our PLCs, those leaders, and they have been very receptive with positive feedback. We aim to make DLOs a regular part of our course upgrades and maintaining high standards and advancing digital learning, that kind of a culture.
For goal number 3, our digital literacy and Canvas utilization guideline, this is a clip from our from our site plan and our goals, our Canvas utilization guideline goals through our EL 0 through 5 and distance learning and IET. Part of our WASC accreditation plan was also to have alignment. So we aligned our competencies and our DL program, and also introduced a new Tech Buddy and Canvas Coach program, which, like Michael was saying, we found that teachers did better working in small groups or one-on-one rather than in big groups like this. And I've been a part of those smaller groups too, and we learned so much from each other that way. So that was a huge accomplishment for us and our teachers and myself. And I'll highlight some of the distance learning goals because they do kind of match the other goals too. Align course, sorry, I'm trying to look over here and then talk on the mic. Align courses with in-person classes, transferring it to Canvas, which we accomplished. Publish the course shell to use curriculum. So part of that was getting everything on Canvas and using that for DL. So if our students need to take a break from in-person classes for a while, they can do that seamlessly by doing distance learning and then going back into that in-person class and be right on the same page. We have different levels on the distance learning Canvas shell as well, so we can serve more students that way, and it's really working out really well. And then teachers know that I'm kind of on the same page as their in-person classes, so the way we divide up the units and everything else on Canvas is the same, so it's really cool. And part of our DLAC plan was this initially, so to see it happen is very exciting. I think that's it.
So, in addition to our professional development events that we've been able to hold, and just kind of identifying what needs to be included with our curriculum as far as digital literacy. So goals 1 and 2, we have seen incredible growth related to goal 3. So that's our digital literacy and Canvas utilization. So Jenna talked about it a little bit, and our original plan for joining DLAC was really to align our distance learning program and also have something that was asynchronous or independent for students that mirrored what they would do in the class, so that they could move in and out. We had a pretty heavy wait list when we first joined DLAC, and we still do. We saw, again, here at DLAC, Eastside talked about how they had imported ventures modules, and we knew that we had access to those, but I guess we just needed to hear somebody else say it and think about the logistics that way. So we were able to import those modules into Canvas. There's 3 sections of distance learning. There's about 200 DL students across 6 learning levels. So Jenna's efforts have aligned now the DL program with the in-person class curriculum. So that's pretty cool. And then another huge gain related to goal 3 was incorporating EL Civics into Canvas modules and instituting completely electronic-based assessments over the course of the last year. That's been a big paradigm shift for our EL program. And EL Civics was really kind of a hook, right? So you have to do EL Civics. So really we went from 4 teachers to 15 ESL teachers that are using Canvas. And it was actually pretty neat, and I think we saw that shift at the Professional Learning Day in April because we had teachers come that literally never come. And it's because they actually care about their students passing EL Civics, they care about the funding for our program, and this was a way that they could do it. So pretty cool.
And on the perky topic of challenges, as in work and in life, sometimes things don't always go to plan, and that's one of the beautiful things about DLAC. And our site plan is the ability to be fluid and move and change with need. So When we started DLAC, I had just started as the admin for the EL program, and I had, of course, overly big, lofty dreams for facility improvements and changes, and most of those happened, a few didn't. One that we wanted to have was like a DL hybrid hub where those teachers would be housed. That didn't really work out, but out of that came actually a better option where we have carved out a space that, starting in summer school, will be a student center where our transition specialist will be housed, our academic counselor will be housed, and also students will have access to technology and a place to build community. Another major shift that we kind of pivoted on is we have 9 classrooms in our campus that's primarily all ESL. As Nikki mentioned, we have quite a large demand for students wanting classes. So what I opted to do was I moved our level 5, 6. When we incorporated those with the ABE students, we moved those to our main campus where the academic and CTE classes are held so that it would be a seamless transition for those higher level students. Sometimes they're a little nervous to leave ESL, but this kind of provided that safe space where they were already going to school in their foundations class, their high-level ESL class, and then the next steps were right there in the same building. So just to make for a more seamless transition. Also, by doing our facility shift, our transition specialist and our counselor are available at both locations, actually at all of our locations, but primarily these are 2 locations for ESL and academics, and so students have access to those resources.
For next steps, we have several next steps planned as we carry on our DLAC goals into next year. One of those is continuing the North Star training sessions and expanding those across our PLCs with planned PL events in June and August. And the teachers are super excited about that. And we had a good turnout, like Nikki said, so that's really cool. Meet with our PLC leads to monitor the review of the digital literacy objectives, the DLOs, and gather data regarding their delivery in the classroom, document best practices, and recommend revisions. Goal 3's continued success will rely heavily on our tech buddies and Canvas coaches, which is going really well as well. So I don't see that losing any steam. Probably just getting bigger, right, and better. LCivics will continue as a launching pad for teachers using technology in the classroom on Canvas, and teacher training offered to incorporate discussions, videos, and mini oral presentations into the curriculum. We hope to fully realize our DLAC goals by utilizing and sharing the support OTAN offers, continuing to collaborate with our network of DLAC colleagues. We already have some plans to visit some other schools, right? Hopefully. Working to establish a school-wide culture that understands the value of educational technology.
Okay, and DLAC inspired some, creativity. And the DLAC inspired technology projects with H5P and Learning Upgrade. In the first 2 terms of 2023-24, this school year, we piloted Learning Upgrade, an online interactive program in my level 3 and level 3-4 hybrid class. It didn't actually start out as a hybrid, but when the students showed up for class, you get your roster and the whole class was like filled to the brim. There wasn't an empty seat in the house. And it was, as a teacher, teaching language, it can be a little overwhelming to have that, that many students. So what we did is I got a pilot for Learning Upgrade and asked the students, what, do you want to come 2 days a week and the other 2 is live classroom? And they all jumped on board, and we had some great results in We achieved an NRS growth of 1.9, meaning the students advanced nearly 2 levels in 16 weeks. The learners averaged 112 days of active learning. That means that they were on and actively working on learning upgrade modules. And if sustained over the year, it would result in 6.4 educational level gains. And these outcomes highlight the program's exceptional effectiveness in accelerating growth. And I would be remiss if I did not share that with you. Building on this success, we implemented H5P tools for our digital interactive EL civics curriculum just this spring, and established a job lab using H5P content, which is a highly interactive content on the English Language Center's website. And we integrated these tools into Canvas. It was quite easily integrated. This initiative advanced our digital literacy goals and created a valuable resource for the teachers to take advantage of.
All right, so in closing, we really want to share a special thank you to our wonderful coach, Cindy Wisłowski. She's retiring. She's been incredibly insightful with us, I would say consistently constructive, and just the way that she coaches us has let us grow as a team. She gives us, plenty of room to grow and struggle and increase our leadership talents, abilities, all the things that we want. And so we wanted to give her just a little gift and just bring her up and thank her for all her work. And we're excited to just keep in touch with her as she has her own new next steps.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to share this too on behalf of our partner school, Folsom Cordova, that isn't here with us anymore, but we grew a lot from our relationship with them too.